Hi everybody, my name's Sarah and this is Maria.
Hiya.
And we're from the Adullam Programme that's based here in Lancaster, and we're really excited to be cooking for you a Sunday brunch this Sunday morning. It's great to be involved in the Lancaster Health Festival, and especially this year with it being focusing on mental health and also how what we eat and healthy eating, how that can impact our mental health too. And we're going to be hearing from Maria because your story, Maria, is about that, isn't it? It's about how your physical health actually impacted your mental well-being.
Yeah.
And we're going to be hearing from Maria and some of Maria's story later regarding that, because very much at the heart of what Adullam does as a charity is support people with mental health issues. And I don't know where you're at the moment, if you can identify with that, you know, you've been there yourself, if anxiety or depression is something that you suffer with, or maybe you're just going through a difficult time. Whether it's bereavement, whether it's divorce, whether it's childhood trauma that you can't shake off, relationship issues, you know, mental health can be associated with all different kinds of things. But here at Adullam, we're here to help and give you the tools and skills to help you navigate life in the most possible way, the best way possible. So, Maria, this looks amazing.
Right.
What is it that you're cooking for us today?
Sorry, I'll just put that there. I can put that on later. I'm making Mediterranean vegetables, tomato based, with fish. You can actually do this with meat, any sort of meat that you want. But it's a nice, easy meal for brunch, tea, supper, with not being fatty either. So it's good for your waistline. And if you're diabetic or anything like that, it's good for your sugar levels. It's got everything healthy in it, and also once it's cooked, you can actually blend it all down if you want and make a sauce out of it for pasta, or to pour over meat, or even to pour over fish. So you don't be frightened of making too much.
So what is it you've got in here then, Maria? Because I mean, we talk about your 5 or your 10 a day, you know, 5 or 10 portions of veg is what I mean. But I mean, it looks to me like you've got so many different types of veg here. What have you got?
I've got aubergines, courgettes, tomatoes, there's broccoli,
Green beans, is the
green beans, there's celery.
What's the yellow?
That is turnip.
Turnip.
Yeah, I know it sounds a bit thing, but everything tastes a lot better. It tastes different. Even leeks on there, they taste different once they've been roasted. So you can have that on its own, or you can have it with meat, fish, whatever you want. This one I'm doing here, excuse me. This one I'm doing here is a tomato-based one, and it'll be more like a sauce, and this will taste different from that. If there were the same ingredients in both, you know what I mean, that would still taste different to that.
Yeah, of course.
Because that's roasted.
Because it's roasted, yeah. Yeah, it sweetens it up.
Excuse me, could you turn them
Yeah,
for
of course I can. So what sort of fish have we got here?
Sorry, it's sea bass, is it? I think. Yeah, it's sea bass we've got there.
Would it have to be sea bass?
No, it can be any sort of fish that you want.
Okay.
The other one that you can do as well is once you've cooked this, you can put prawns in there, you can put mussels, you can put different fishes in. So you've got a nice sort of a soup, if you will, or a chunky sort of thing. It doesn't have to be laid on top. It's very versatile.
Yeah, okay.
Is this, so
Yeah, it's amazing. So, have you always cooked, Marie? I mean, what was it? I mean, I know that you're a great cook, but what is it that started you on the road to cooking?
Me, I come from a big family, and from the age of 11, I've been more or less cooking for the family and for everything else. But it's lucky I loved cooking anyway. You know, so it's just a passion that I've liked. And with being a big family, we learned how to cut corners on things. My dad used to grow a lot of veg, potatoes and what have you, and in them days he used to go rabbiting and fishing and all that lot. So, you know, there was coming up with different things, you know, to feed a big family without them going hungry. But we did eat a lot of veg anyway then. That was our fill-up. But the other one was potatoes. We had a lot of potatoes and bread, which is the bulk out of it. You know, sort of everybody sort of has that sort of stuff. And
it was what they used to fill you up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tended to be the way back then, didn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was that ended up me putting a lot of weight on. My love of food.
That just kind of brings us nicely on, really, to your own story and how your physical health impacted your mental health, and it's also had an impact on your diet as well. Could you tell us a little bit about that, Maria?
Well, yeah. We'll leave this to simmer and then we can talk properly. Right. Yeah, I used to work a lot, you know, different jobs and what have you. And from a young age, we've always worked, you know, so obviously big family and stuff. So throwing myself into work was one of my things. Until one day, I don't know how many years ago now, it might be about 6 years, I ended up having a bad back, you know, sort of. I had an accident at work, to cut a long story short, and my back, it just sort of went. I ended up having a trapped nerve, couldn't walk properly. Well, they put me off work. I tried going back to work, but the same thing happened again. It just, the nerve went and what have you. And I couldn't go back to work. But when I found out I couldn't get back to work, I mean, a lot of people might laugh at this, but I cried because I couldn't go back to work. That's all I'd known.
Yeah.
You know, I brought my kids up and what have you, but I was still working through bringing my children up. And then, obviously, their children had married, left home and what have you. I just didn't know what to do. Just sort of sat there and ate a lot, drank a lot, and just started feeling sorry for myself. Even the friends that I'd made at work didn't come round, you know, and I'm thinking, well, you know, where are they? They're your work colleagues, you know, sort of thing. You think they're friends, but all of a sudden, that's it. When you're on your own, you know, ill and what have you, nobody comes around. So I went into a dark place, actually, you know, sort of thing. Went very down.
Your mental health.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You know, sort of thing. It was just, I didn't want to go out, didn't want to do anything, you know, sort of sat there, watched telly from morning till night. Sometimes I didn't even want to get out of bed. It was just one of them, you know, sort of things. Anyway, it ended up, long story short, the doctor referred me to a well woman clinic. And it was that well woman clinic that told me about Adullam. When she first mentioned it, I thought, to be totally honest, well, I'm not going to sit with a lot of old women and, you know, sort of thing. They're all fuddy-duddy and I know. But that was then, you know, sort of thing. And it was just like, no. Anyway, persuaded me and I went down. I think the second week it had opened, and I'm really, really grateful I did go, because the first, I walked in and it was like, there was no fuddy-duddy old women, sort of thing. They were all ages, all walks of life, sort of thing, and they just made me feel so welcome. And I'd said to this lady that had come round to see us and took me down there, that I wouldn't be able to contribute, sort of show them anything, do anything, because I couldn't do anything, as I thought. But soon after getting there, I realised that I knew more than what I thought I knew, when it comes to like sewing or upgrading, because obviously coming from a big family again, we had to make, do, and mend. So make, do, and mend is what you do now for upgrading or revamping or whatever it is you call. I've always done it, I've just thought it was second nature and everybody sort of knew how. But no, and I went from that to actually helping in Adullam, with the coffee mornings, the craft lessons and the cooking on a budget. And I've surrounded myself with not negative people, with good people. People that are there for you, that they can talk. There was a lot of people in the same position as me there that I could talk to. And it never went out that room. It always stayed in there. And it wasn't a pity or, sort of thing. It was genuine, and it felt, and I felt a lot better for going. And like I said, I used to go every day, and I'd volunteer for things as well, sort of.
So it's giving you your purpose back, even though you're not able to work like you once did.
Yeah. I mean, great. I mean, I can't stand up all day and do a 4 or 7 hour whatever shift and doing something, because there's no way I can do it. Because I've got arthritis in my knee now, and I've got to have an operation on that as well. I also developed diabetes, which brings me on to the healthy cooking. The diabetes, because I ate loads and sat down and what have you, very unhealthy. And I started watching what I was eating, not counting calories, just looking at packets and seeing how much sugar there is in things. I mean, I did a little challenge to myself, which some people might want to do. But in a week, everything you eat, have a look at the sugar content and write that down. And see how much by the end of the week that you're consuming, what sugars and carbs. The carbs I've really cut down on, and obviously the sugars and stuff. And I've dropped 2 dress sizes.
And you've just had some good news today.
And I've had good news today. They've taken me off the medication, so hopefully for the diabetes.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know. So if I carry on the way I'm going, sort of, it's only a good thing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not a goody-goody. I mean, we all have our little treats every now and then, and I still have mine.
Yeah.
But I mean, as long as you don't go overboard, you can still have your treats. It's like, if I want an ice cream, I'll get them mini magnums, and I'll have them little mini ones rather than a big one. But I've still had one.
And you find that helps compared to completely starving yourself of everything that's a treat,
Yeah, I mean,
it's about balance, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it's like, I mean, everybody likes fish and chips and stuff. I mean, very rarely will I get that, sort of thing. But I'll make my own version, and I'll do a potato with spry, sort of thing, and just do my potatoes in there so that there's no fat, less fat on them. And obviously grill my fish or fry it, you know, obviously with fry light and stuff. But I mean, I'm still eating. I eat GI bread. It releases the carbs and everything slowly, so that it's digested properly. So you feel fuller for longer.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, sort of thing. So that's one of my little tricks. The other one is things like this, because it's like a nice vegetable mix that's in here. Any sort of vegetables you want. You don't have to stick to what I've got. You can, like I said, you can make that into a sauce. You can blitz it up.
You could even have that on pasta, couldn't you?
You can have it like this on pasta. You could make it into a sauce on pasta.
Good for little ones if you're struggling to get your veggies down.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Yeah,
Oh, I've got another trick for vegetables for kiddies and for lunch boxes. Is little omelettes, individual omelettes.
Excellent.
You know, sort of you're making cupcakes, like cupcake things.
Okay.
And you put vegetables in there and, you know, chop them up really fine, and just put a little bit of sprinkling of cheese on top. So, but it's a good filler for if you're wanting something to eat, you're hungry. The trick is, when you're eating meals, not to be starving to eat that meal. So mine was eating often, but not big portions.
Yeah.
But not grazing throughout the day, if you know what I mean. Now, if you'd get, like you've had your breakfast at break time or something, if you're at work, you'd have something, maybe a biscuit or something. Instead, have an apple or have one of these little egg things, you know, sort of thing. It's just knowing what to eat, you know, sort of thing. And it's to get, obviously, all your vegetables into you, but your fruit as well. Yeah, I've got plenty of ideas if that's what they're wanting, you know, so, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
But,
so how do you see the link between mental and physical health then, especially from somebody who's kind of been there, done it, bought the t-shirt?
Right, I think your physical health can impact on your mental health or vice versa, because you feel down with your physical health, so that will make you feel down and useless with your mental health. I mean, I've had it myself where I know I don't get invited to places because, you know, I can't walk that far, or I can't do something, you know what I mean? It's just, or I can't stand for long, or, you know what I mean? It's when you go out, you know, and you're going from a cafe, you know, sort of shopping, and things I can't do. I can do one or the other, but I can't do both. I mean, I'd be on my knees by then. So I've got to think about it, and I'm sure other people do as well. I think having good people around you, the right people, and someone to offload on that understands you, I think that's good for your mental health and your physical health, because you can talk to somebody, you know, other than a doctor, other than a health professional, you know, somebody that understands you.
And where time isn't an issue as well, I guess.
That's it, yeah. Sit and have a brew and, you know, sort of just talk. And I think a lot, and I know I say it, but Adullam is one of the good ones for that, because on the days that I was there, going, you know, to the places, people were coming to me and I was going to them, you know, sort of thing. So you don't know who was making who better, you know. So it was just, but it was a good way to get to know people as well.
Yeah.
But they feel better as well, you know. I've got friends that I've made there that were in a bad way when I first met them, but they seem fine now, you know, sort of happy, doing their own thing, you know. They're still friends and what have you. They still come round, and especially if I'm cooking.
So what we've got here, Mia, this is what we've just seen you make, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one with the Mediterranean vegetables.
Can I try a little
Yeah,
bit?
of course you can. To tell you the truth, I didn't put salt and pepper in. So it'll need salt.
It's really good.
Is it alright? You're going to say, because I haven't put the salt and pepper in. So, I've got you a knife and fork here, actually. And a spoon. Right.
That's really good.
Yeah. This here is aubergine, and it's got mixed vegetables stuffed in with it, as well as cauliflower rice.
Oh,
and it's sat on mushroom.
Yeah, I can see it. So.
Yeah, and it's all baked in the oven. And the other one's just that's got a topping of cream cheese. Not cream cheese.
Feta.
No, it's cottage cheese. That's it.
Okay.
But I blitzed the cottage cheese. That has been seasoned. And the other one's just topped with bacon, a medallion, sort of fat-free one.
Lovely.
And these here are the omelettes I was on about.
Okay.
But the different fillings in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can have these cold or hot.
Okay.
And you can put these in lunch boxes.
True. What a good idea.
Sort of, yeah. And you can eat them if you're peckish in between. You've come home, you're hungry, but you're not going to be, you don't want to, your meal, when you know it's coming, don't want to be starving, so you overeat. Have a couple of these or one of these. The eggs and vegetables in it, there's nothing really fattening. And the kiddies will have them because you cut them the veg really fine. And if you put cheese just on top, just a little bit, rather than inside, they'll get that flavour more than the veg. So they'll get the veg in. My kids, they were always in the kitchen with me when they were little, and my grandchildren were. So they can all cook as well. But I did this with them. There's not a vegetable I don't think that they won't eat. Mind you, that might be because they're frightened, I don't know. Fruit compote, and it's made with honey, not sugar.
Really?
So what do you think of that?
Oh, that is lovely.
But that's, a nice pudding, and it's...
So it's yoghurt, porridge oats.
Porridge oats, yoghurt, and the trick with plain yoghurt as well, that's why I've got the yoghurt pot out. What I do with that, because it's natural yoghurt, it can be a bit bitter sometimes when you sour, should I say.
Yeah.
I put some vanilla essence in it.
Oh, really?
And because that'll
naturally sweeten it.
Yeah, ice creamy if you want.
Yeah.
And then I'll put something like these bran flakes in it. You've got that crunch, but fresh fruit as well. And then the same with that as just a grapefruit, a blood orange one. Blood grapefruit, whatever. Yeah. And mixed fruit. And if that's not sweet enough again, obviously just drizzle a little bit of this on.
Yeah.
But you don't need it really. The sweetness comes from the fruit. And for me to say that when I used to eat all these sweet things, chocolate galore, that's the other thing as well. Plain chocolate, have a few little squares of that'll take the chocolate craving away.
Yeah.
Or I'll have a drink of hot chocolate, but a slimline one. And that normally does it as well.
Yeah.
You've got your fix.
You're putting your treats in there, aren't you? Yeah.
So, nothing is out of bounds as long as you're sensible with it and have a small amount rather than big amounts.
Binging on it.
Yeah. Sort of thing. It's being sensible.
Yeah.
And I think with the lockdown and what have you, I've had to really train myself now to have done all this. Sort of, and I like messing about with recipes and coming up with new things, sort of thing. Well, you know what I'm like. It's not just cooking.
You're very creative.
Yeah, I do all sorts of things now. Things I didn't know I was good at. things that I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
this is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for doing this and taking the time to show us just a little bit of your skill, and just to thank everybody who's been watching as well, and just to say again, you know, if you need some help, if you need some support, if you know that you could do with the right people around you, like Maria's been talking about, please do get in contact with us. Our contact details will be available at the end of this video. Thanks very much, everybody.
Bye.